4 minutes, Mr Day.
Many thanks, Presiding Officer. Industrial disputes are by their nature, as we're all too well aware, invariably messy and often unpleasant affairs. A mixture of over-ambitious, ill-judged, seemingly entrenched positions taken at the outset, when everyone knows that ground will have to be and will ultimately be ceded by the protagonists. And right now, with so many employment sectors understandably pressing for increases that address spiralling inflation levels, when it comes to attracting support and sympathy from the public for pay claims, then the landscape is pretty congested. We have a number of public sector disputes rumbling away UK-wide, and the brutal truth is that sympathy for the likes of nurses and firefighters will perhaps be greater than for university staff and others. That's absolutely not to say that this group isn't deserving of a fair but affordable pay increase which takes account of the cost of living. Far from it. It's simply an observation. Because the fact is that universities do not function, students do not secure their education without cleaners, administrators and library, catering and security workers, never mind the teaching staff. And that's why I'm certain the Scottish Government will be actively encouraging Scotland's universities to engage with the unions and apply the Fair Work principle. They are, though, as Katy acknowledged, autonomous bodies. However, Presiding Officer, amongst other things, universities need to be alive to the public relations damage done them by protracted disputes with staff, especially where they have parallel issues running, such as the pensions issue impacting non-teaching staff at Dundee. Presiding Officer, I don't think there's any aspect of industrial relations where fairness is quite to the fore of the minds of the public than when it comes to pensions. Having come from the background I did, I am certainly instinctively inclined towards the cause of employees who are opposing seeing their pension expectations threatened. And in another life, for 30 years, I worked in journalism, where it wasn't just the Maxwell scandal which left its mark. We also saw long-serving, far from well-paid journalists having non-contributory pension schemes removed and the legitimate terms and conditions of others labelled pension liabilities, as if they were unreasonable burdens, not the entitlements matched to many years of sterling service. And I don't think there's the slightest doubt that the initial approach by the University of Dundee to their superannuation scheme was cack-handed, to say the least. Attacking the pension rights of staff who are a long way from being the best remunerated in the institution is not a good look, especially when these are predominantly women, the gender worst served by some way by pension provision. Now, in fairness, I get the concerns of the University Court over the growth of pension, let's call them responsibilities, and the increase in employer contributions. But that was the kind of ill-judged starting position I referred to earlier. We've seen some progress, not as much as staff might want or be content with, but progress. Now we need to see that being built upon, and similar momentum taking hold on the salaries front at Dundee and across the sector, with both sides, Presiding Officer, as I said earlier, recognising that ground will have to be ceded. Presiding Officer.